Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is excited to be hearing from me again. I know I just sent a video tip yesterday, but I have something really exciting that I want to share with you guys today. So the topic that I want to address is actually digestion. And digestion is a topic that can be really shameful and embarrassing for a lot of people. But the reality is that 74% of Americans have at some point reported digestive upset. So just know that if you experience digestive issues, whether it's gas or bloating or diarrhea or constipation, you are totally not alone. And I wanted to take some time to be a little bit vulnerable myself and share with you guys my experience with digestion. So my relationship to food and digestion for really about half my life, so about 15 years of my life, was very strained and very challenging. This ultimately started for me in high school when a daily eating schedule for me would look like some sort of sugary cereal for breakfast, followed by absolutely nothing for lunch because I didn't want the boys to see me eating, and because I know that high school food, public school food tastes like garbage, right? Yeah. So after that, I would go home starving and I would eat some sort of horrendous junk food while watching soap operas. So my favorite was actually to go to Taco Bell and get a cheesy gordita crunch and nachos and gorge on that while watching soap operas. And then I would have dinner with my family after. So my eating habits were subpar at best. I was having approximately 1 bowel movement per week, which isn't a shock considering that diet. And this was a really painful and shameful and embarrassing time for me. So there would be days where I would be in school and just like, oh my God, in so much pain, unable to concentrate. There were times where I actually had to not go to school because I was in so much pain and so backed up. I know my mom can remember those days. And unfortunately, those poor habits around eating and the digestive issues followed me into my college years. But my metabolism from high school did not follow me into my college years. At this point, I started to gain weight. So I experienced some pretty significant weight gain in college, more like the freshman 20 as opposed to the freshman 15. I also began to understand exactly what stress is. So that did not help my digestive issues or my weight gain at all when you added stress into the mix. And these issues really followed me into the real world per se, so my career. And I found myself at a very, very stressful job that I was highly committed to, experiencing these terrible digestive issues. So I'd be sitting at my desk pounding away on some sort of project and at the same time holding my stomach and unable to concentrate. I found myself having to call out sick from work or cancel work functions. And I'm very grateful that I had a supportive boss who I could confide in and would support me, but it was still a very uncomfortable and embarrassing, shameful time in my life. And sort of like the icing on the cake was I actually ended up in the hospital having emergency surgery for appendicitis, which is very common in young women in their early 20s, brought on by stress, poor digestion, and poor diet. And this was a really scary and eye-opening experience for me, and it was at this point that I knew something needed to change. And I decided that I was going to begin to cultivate a healthy relationship to my body and food, and actually tune in and listen to the messages that my body was telling me. And of course I went through a time where I changed my diet, right? And I started focusing on healthier foods and limiting those things that I knew were bad for my digestion, like eating wheels of brie cheese. Like everyone knows you're not supposed to eat wheels of brie cheese, right? So there's definitely the diet piece of it that helped. But for me, what the biggest needle mover was actually cultivating a mind-body connection as far as how I was eating. So how I was eating Was I eating to the point of being overly stuffed, like I talked about in yesterday's video series? So learning to really honor my fullness so that I didn't reach a point of so stuffed that I had to unbutton my pants and experience that terrible bloat and stomach ache. I was focusing on chewing. I was focusing on portion size. I was focusing on reducing my stress at meal times. Now, this is something that's huge, and a lot of people don't actually realize how much stress affects digestion, and there's a whole long scientific explanation that goes into this that I go over in many of my workshops. But basically what happens when you're stressed is that your digestion completely shuts down. So if you've ever had the experience of eating a meal and then saying like, oh, I feel like it's sitting in a lump in my stomach, well, that's actually because that's exactly what's happening. Your body is waiting for the relaxation response to be turned on so that you can properly digest and metabolize your food. So through this process of really learning how to eat, my digestive issues vanished. It was actually a very short period of time. I was like, what? Could have been this easy this whole time? And my skin started to clear on its own. I started to lose weight very naturally without having to cut much out of my diet. I had more mental clarity and energy than I'd ever had in my entire life. And I really attribute all of this to developing that healthy relationship to my body and food and having that strong mind-body connection. So I wanted to share all of this with you because I've actually developed a program using many of the same tools that I implemented that helped me change my life around digestion. And I wanted to share it with you guys first. So the name of the program is called the Love Your Belly 7-Day Digestion Reset. I'm offering it completely free of charge for the week of October 10th through the 16th. The way that it's going to work is that I will be sending out daily video tips with exercises and instructions for you on how to eat that day. This is completely achievable and easy to do within the context of your daily life because I'm not going to be asking you to do any sort of crazy cooking or follow a specific diet plan. I'm not asking you to change your diet at all. I'm just asking you to introduce some new and healthier habits around eating. So what I'm looking for is about 10 highly motivated, open-minded individuals who feel like they've maybe tried everything they possibly could to heal their digestive issues and they're open to trying just one more thing. I really do think that this could be hugely beneficial for you if you're experiencing digestive upset. And just for anybody who really wants to understand what it means to have a healthy relationship to food. So if you are interested in signing up, it's very, very easy. All you have to do is click on the button at the bottom of this email that says sign me up. And from there, just shoot me an email that says I am ready to sign up. And then from there, I will send you further instructions and information on the 7-day reset. So I hope that this is inspiring to you and that if it's something that intrigues you, please don't be afraid to sign up. If you have any questions about it, I'm here to answer them. And I hope that you choose to do it. So that's it for now. And please let me know if you have any questions at all. Bye, guys.